right, good morning, everybody. It's 11:30. We'll get started with the pre-commission agenda. No president's report for me today. Are there any general housekeeping items or discussion of the agenda from the commission? Okay, seeing none, right over to Director Head for the director's report.
Madam President, Commission, it's always a pleasure to visit with you today. We spent a lot of time over the last few years, but also really recently, we've been talking a lot about this and what does build mean? Really, again, our emphasis always for our team is to build the infrastructure, the transportation infrastructure the public needs. And so we're continuing to find ways to teach that, to emphasize that, and make sure that we're always keeping that as our focus. One of the fun ways we can build together is we're coming up on this year's Name a Plow contest starting today. So this is always a fun way to engage with the public. They get excited. We get fun names like Ashton Genty still was definitely our most popular one we've ever had. But it's always a fun time both for the team as well as for the public. One of the things that I really like is how much pride the plow drivers take in being responsible for the individual plows. So such a great opportunity, and we're grateful to our communications team for kicking off this year's Name a Plow. I want to say welcome to some of our new faces here. We have both Casey and Ingrid here today. We're also in the middle of winter ops training today, and then we also have a new grandma, so who had some time built in so that she could take some time off when that happened. But just want to recognize these two. They bring a lot to the team in terms of their experience. Ingrid is one of the intern to hire position that was in our approved additional FTEs. She has been a tremendous intern here at the Highway District. And as we roll out our new work order system and asset management system, her skills, really the team said, we absolutely need these. And so this is a great opportunity for her to continue on after graduation. She just graduated, and we're grateful for her being part of this team. And Casey brings great experience on the procurement side. And so we're so grateful for these new team members here at ACHD. Last night was the City of Star State of the City, and just wanted to share, the mayor spoke highly of both the Highway District as well as ITD and the amount of investment that's happening out there. He noted over $1 million of transportation investments between our work and ITD's work that's happening in the City of Star this year. And so I guess he spoke for quite some time about this and gave a lot of kudos to the Highway District. And so we're grateful for that partnership and just wanted to share that with you today. This last week was Vanpool Rider Appreciation Day. This is a great opportunity to thank our riders and encourage them to continue to stick with our commuter ride program. Such a great program to take people off the road and combine them into vehicles. I was sharing with Commissioner McKinney yesterday, a few of us had the opportunity to visit the Micron construction site and see the massive amount of work that's happening there. At one point, they are talking about having up to 10,000 craft workers on site, on top of the additional staff that are there. They're building the largest parking garage in all of Idaho. It's going to host like 2,300 vehicles, as well as another one that's going to do that. And then they're adding more. Like, it's massive. But what a great way. I share that because it's a great opportunity for our team to engage with people in those kind of environments to try and find ways to combine those rides and make sure that we reduce the impact that some of that type of work is happening. And so we're working hard there. But overall, just wanted to mention how the team is out there, continuing to encourage our riders to be there. We have a great number right now with with Bogus Basin getting ready and ramping up, we'll have more coming on, and a great partnership with that. We're wrapping up week 3 of our public involvement on and ultimately we're wrapping up the initial outreach on the ACHD impact fee and CIP. Megan and Edison, Rachel worked hard on another news report, and we'll do a big push today as we get ready to close out that initial outreach to encourage people to participate. We had another about 100 survey responses this last week. Continue to do that outreach, and it closes tomorrow. Justin continues his tour to all the different jurisdictions and encouraging that input, and still looking for some letters. We do anticipate some coming in from the different jurisdictions, but good. We're seeing good outreach, good reception of that outreach, and we're seeing some of that input coming in. Have a short video today for a What Is It Wednesday.
You ever wonder what all these lines are in the road? This is called crack seal, and that's today's topic on What Is It Wednesday. Hi, my name is Andrea Mays, and I'm a lead worker on the grade crew. These little lines that are in black that look like little snakes, this is actually called crack seal. So why do we do it? Crack sealing is what's called a pavement preservation treatment. Small cracks may not seem like much, but if left alone, water seeps through the surface and weakens the base underneath. Over time, that leads to bigger cracks, potholes, and other damage. By sealing the cracks early, we keep out the water, protecting the road foundation, and extending the life of the pavement. It's one of the most effective and affordable tools we have to keep our streets in good condition. Let's take a look at the process. First, we clean out the cracks using the heat lamps. It shoots out fire powered by propane and compressed air, removing dirt and moisture while heating the pavement to prepare it for sealing. Next, we apply the sealant material. This is a blend of rubber and asphalt that fills the cracks. The material is super hot. The material comes out 300 to 400 degrees and bonds tightly to the pavement. This creates a flexible, expandable seal that can withstand cold and hot temperatures. So the next time you see these black lines on the road, you will know it's not our artwork, it is crack seal. This is just a small step that we take to keep the roads in good condition for a very low cost. And that's your What Is It Wednesday.
I love how our communications team is so aware of the questions that come in, and we regularly get these, especially around this time of year as we're out there doing the crack seal. But having good information out there available to people, and our team is always so willing to participate, and so great information there. And just to let you know how that's going, this year we are working in zone 7 on our crack seal. We are about a month in, really, I think only about 3 weeks in to this, and we've already completed 110 miles of roadway, centerline miles of roadway here. And that's about a quarter of that. We try to finish this up in that April-May timeframe before chip seal starts. We always are, it's weather dependent, but they're making incredibly great progress this year in doing that. And so wanted to recognize the team for that good work. We did kick off this morning our winter operations training. So all the crews who will be participating in winter ops are out. They're practicing in the vehicles. They're cycling through, filling them with mag, testing the different things to make sure that they are fully ready to go when winter comes. So it's a kind of a 2-day process. We also make sure that our vehicles are fully calibrated, but great opportunity this morning both to remind the team on that effort, the safety equipment that they have, the requirements, and how to make sure that they're doing a good job caring for the vehicles, but also to make sure that we are ready to go as soon as that snow flies. With the rain that we've had over the last few weeks, we did have a washout up on Bogus Basin Road. But our safety engineering team and Adams utility crew responded very quickly. We're able to get that fixed and in place for a good long-term solution there. So it is a place where we do have some challenges with the amount when weather comes, but they were quick to respond and get that fixed. Commission, as we head into the next few months, just wanted to make sure that on your radar is for the months of November and December. We just have 2 meetings in each of those months. And we also have some holidays coming up in that time frame. We also have scheduled a joint meeting with the City of Meridian to coordinate with them on a few different projects and items. That's scheduled for January 13th. So these are some items that would affect you directly here coming up in the next few months. And then here's our outlook over the next few weeks. Again, Justin continues his tour of all the different cities. He visited just yesterday with Eagle, and then on the 21st, he's with Boise and Kuna. We will be hosting 2 tours tomorrow at our TOC, including Leadership Meridian. This is a great program like our Leadership ACHD that lets upcoming leaders learn about different programs, and this is the opportunity for them to come learn more about ACHD. I think that's the items there. With that, commissioners, I will stand for any questions.
Any questions, Commissioner Nielsen?
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. For the feedback we are getting on the CIP, is that going to be posted to the web, or just want to make sure I have time to go through it? Not sure what format it'll be presented in.
Absolutely. Madam President, Commissioner, we will have that available to you in preparation for the meeting on November 7th, right? And so that all that information will be available for you in the packet in preparation for that.
Seems like it'll be a lot. Right.
A lot of feedback.
Yeah. And another question. So how is the supply or pricing of mag chloride as we get ready for winter operations? Are there any supply chain issues or any glitches this year?
Madam
Yeah.
President, Commissioner Nielsen, as far as I understand, we're good to go.
Okay.
We're ready to go and have plenty on hand, and we're not anticipating any issues at this point.
That means we won't have a lot of snow then, if we're ready.
Perfect.
Any other questions or comments? All right, thanks so much for another
Thanks.
great report.
Thank you.
With that, we are going to be at ease until noon. All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's 12 o'clock. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Thanks to everyone joining us in person and online, and please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the first item is to adopt the agenda. Is there a motion?
Madam President, I
Commissioner McKinney.
move that we adopt the agenda.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a commissioner or citizen so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda. All consent agenda items are commission action items unless noted. We do have a request to move item number 3 to from the consent agenda to item number 1 on the regular agenda. Is there a motion?
Madam President,
Commissioner McKinney.
unfortunately, I do have a question regarding item number 2 on the consent agenda. I should have brought this up in our pre-meeting, but if the director has a moment, regarding the cooperative agreement with City of Nampa and the Nampa Highway District. I note from the staff report that the budgetary aspects of this cooperative agreement are being handled through a budget adjustment. And yet in looking at this, these were projects that we've known about for a long time. And I'm just curious why budget items weren't already established in our budget for this and that we're having to do it through budget adjustment. Can you help me on that?
Madam President, Commission, when we have, anytime we have an interagency agreement, we don't always know exactly the timeline for when those projects are going to be move forward. Because in this case, we've been working with the different partners on this agreement and determining when this would move forward. So you have to make sure that everyone else has the money in place and that we're all working through it together. And so in this case, the agreement, we've come to an agreement on how we'll work through design at this point. And so that's where that's coming. And so we will ask for the funds. We anticipate that with some of the bid savings we've had, that we will be able to fully cover that without any concerns.
Okay, well, and I guess my question is simply, so it's simply a matter of not knowing the timing of this, and that's why it wasn't in the regular budget.
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thanks, Director.
Madam President, I move that we move item number 3 to the regular agenda and approve the remainder of the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, that moves us to the regular agenda, which formerly number 3 on consent, now number 1 on regular. Bid rejection, Liberty Street, Douglas Street to Denton Street, ACHD project number 822009. Request for approval, Ricardo, welcome.
Hi, Commissioners. For the record, Ricardo Calderon, Recovery Project Supervisor. Here to talk about Liberty and Douglas to Denton. Commissioners, this is the vicinity map of the project. You can kind of see there in the red. It goes from, I guess, south to north, roughly. And this is just to replace curb and gutter sidewalk, do some drainage repairs, irrigation as well. So while we're here today, Commissioners, the invitation to bid for this project, we're now requiring a licensed plumber. Following the bid opening, there was an error in the subcontractor license requirements that were discovered. So ACHD does have a significant interest in issuing basically an invitation to bid that does not contain any erroneous requirements. Therefore, staff recommends that ACHD rejects all the bids and for the project and rebid the project with the correct subcontractor requirements. Stand for any questions.
Are there any questions for Ricardo? Commissioner Nielsen?
Yeah, thank you, Ricardo. What is the time frame to rebid and then get bids in and open the bids?
Yeah, Commissioner, the plan right now, Madam President, Commissioner Nielsen, the plan right now is to go out to rebid next week on Tuesday. Then we'll go through that process for 2 weeks and then come back to you guys by November 12th for approval of the rebid and then issue the NTP. As I mentioned, there is significant irrigation in this project, so that it's critical that we get going on that to be able to complete it before March 15th. But we'll be back in front of you guys next month, Commissioners.
Any
Madam
other-
President,
Commissioner McKinney?
I have a question, and I don't know if this might be a question for our legal counsel or for someone else on the staff, but do we have the option of accepting a bid that has these errors in the bid invitation? Is that something we can do? I understand we have complete discretion, but is there any concern if we went forward versus rejecting all the bids?
Madam President, Commissioner McKinney, we cannot accept a bid that has these errors. In a way, well, in fact, it would be attempting to it would be changing the specifications effectively. And the Supreme Court in the Syringa decision said that we cannot do that. And in fact, I'll go ahead and quote from the Supreme Court in that decision. Additionally, where there is deviation from the requirements of public bidding, the proper procedure is to re-advertise and secure another open competitive bidding so that all bidders would be on equal footing. The court will agree to adopt these rules. And this was quoting from McQuillan, which is a well-known treatise on contracts. And so it's quite clear that we could not accept the low bid, even though it was non-responsive, because that effectively would be changing the requirements after the fact, after the bids were open. And the Supreme Court made it clear that we cannot do that as a public entity.
Thank you.
Any other questions for staff? All right, I know we received correspondence from Capital Paving. Is there a representative here who would like to speak to the commission? Welcome. Please just state your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon, Commission. My name is John Mitchell. I'm an estimator with Capital Paving. I'm also here with the owners of Capital Paving. I trust that you saw the letter I sent in. You know, this isn't the first time this has happened where ACHD has listed the specified subcontractor that needs to be listed in a bid proposal. I had 7 examples of where it was different from what was actually needed. It was always my understanding that the contractor was responsible for listing the appropriate subcontractors. With most public agencies, it is the prime contractor's responsibility to list those subcontractors accordingly. ACHD does say underneath that, the paragraph that reads that they believe that a, HVAC, plumbing, or electrician subcontractor is required on this project. In this particular scenario on Liberty Street, they listed that a plumber was required. We did not believe a plumber was required, but we listed one. We made contact with Prime Plumbing, listed them, but we did identify that an electrician was needed on the project. So we also listed an electrician. I'm here today just to learn a little bit more for us so that we are better prepared and can understand why, this project wouldn't be awarded to the first response bidder, which was us, at ACHD's discretion.
Thanks, John. Are there any questions for John? Okay. Appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, well, with that, the decision's back in front of the commission on how to move forward on this item.
Madam President,
Commissioner McKinney.
despite the fact that this is a difficult situation, and we never like this situation. It seems to me that we, as a practical matter, we don't have a choice but to reject the bids and go back on this one as recommended by staff. So I will move that we reject all bids on the Liberty Street, Douglas Street to Denton Street, project number 822009.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'll just say that, we appreciate bringing this item to our attention and looking for opportunities to create the best bid process and make sure that the information is consistent and aligned with what we need in the project. So this will, as was mentioned by Ricardo, this will go back out for rebid and be back in front of the commission to award November 12th. So with that, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is discussion items, public communication. Is there anybody in person or online who wishes to address the commission? Okay, seeing none, meeting is adjourned. We have an executive session, and that's all for today. We'll be back next week. Thank you.